In the current film and television industry, achieving international recognition doesn't only depend on acting talent, it also requires the right moment, the right projects, and the ability to create a unique brand. This is the case for two big names, Demet Özdemir and Yaman. Demet's career took off internationally thanks to the global success of her series Early Bird. This production, which became a phenomenon on Netflix, allowed Demet to gain a fan base not only in Turkey but also in Latin America, Eastern Europe, the Middle East, and South Asia. Her authenticity and charisma combined with her energy on screen have been key to her success. Additionally, she has solidified her image as an icon of Turkish series, participating in international events and building her brand on social media. On the other hand, Yaman quickly gained fame in Turkey, but his career has been limited by competition and stereotypes in Turkish television, especially in romantic comedies. His foray into Italy with projects like Viola como el mar and Sandokan caught the attention of the Italian audience, although these productions didn't manage to establish a strong identity like Demet's. The media response was not as impactful, and his presence at promotional events sometimes seems forced, creating a sense of mandatory glamour rather than a genuine connection with the public. The difference between the two is clear. While Demet follows a more natural strategy focused on her talent, can seem trapped in a cycle of forced promotions. Demet, on the other hand, maintains her authenticity without overly relying on events or aggressive public relations strategies, which has strengthened her bond with the audience. Yaman's situation raises questions about his future. His career doesn't seem to have the same resonance as Demet's, who has become a global icon thanks to her presence on platforms like Netflix. On the other hand, is more recognized in certain regions, and his challenge will be expanding his influence globally. Will there be a decline in Yaman's career? The answer is not simple. If decides to follow a path similar to Demet's, he could find his place on the international stage, consolidating a more genuine personal brand, away from promotion tours and more focused on authentic interaction with his followers. In summary, Demet Özdemir has achieved what many actors desire, to become a global icon while maintaining her authenticity. If Yaman can follow a similar path, he could become the hero of his story, benefiting both himself and his fans. Career or relationship? With success, Yaman's relationship with his fans shifted from genuine friendship to a commercial process. Genuine relationship or distancing for high-budget transactions? This dilemma intensified with international productions. Although his fame grew in Italy and Spain, his connection with the local audience weakened. The images of melancholic looks in leather jackets went viral, but interaction dropped. The paradoxical truth: loneliness under the spotlight. Fame often brings the greatest loneliness. However, there are also criticisms and doubts about the situation between them, especially when some fans question Khan's loyalty and the choices he makes in his life. An interesting comment highlights that if he got married, who knows if he'd be faithful, pointing to Khan's lifestyle and his well-known relationship with fun and freedom. In this sense, it can be thought that Demet, despite her love, may never have been Khan's only priority, and this could have caused some wear in their relationship. Sometimes, the expectation of commitment from fans and the media can be overwhelming, and although Demet has shown herself to be understanding and loyal, love is not always enough when external circumstances affect a couple's dynamics. Beyond the criticisms, it is also possible to see Demet as a woman who has managed to stay true to herself and her principles without being swayed by the pressures of the entertainment world. Despite the constant attention she receives, Demet doesn't seem to be the type of person who is affected by other people's judgments. In the comments of her followers, there are those who highlight Demet's authenticity, mentioning that even though others may interpret her as naive, her ability to stand firm in her beliefs is admirable. In the comments of her followers, there are those who highlight Demet's authenticity, mentioning that even though others may interpret her as naive, her ability to stand firm in her beliefs is admirable. For many people, Demet represents the woman who fights for what she believes in, who doesn't let others influence her and who stays loyal to her own truth, even when that means making difficult decisions. However, there are also those who criticize her, not only for her relationship with Khan, but for the decisions she has made in her personal life. Some comments, such as those mentioning that she had a relationship with Can and now is with Ozge Gurel, suggest a sort of rivalry or conflict between the women around her, especially when comparisons between their relationships and the loyalty Demet has shown toward her ex-partner come to light. Ozge Gurel's presence in Can's life, even after his separation from Demet, is a topic that continues to generate speculation and for some represents a contradiction in Demet's intentions. One of the most critical observations relates to Demet's public image. Many of her fans see her as a woman who keeps a smile despite hardships, which can be interpreted as a sign of strength, but also as a facade to hide the pain or insecurities she faces in her personal life. However, it's important to note that, although the comments may seem harsh, the criticisms also come from an admiration for her work and her courage to move forward despite adversity. Her life, like that of many public figures, is exposed to constant scrutiny, and people tend to project their own expectations onto her happiness and well-being.